I got out of bed. I'm putting it on.
This is Supersonic Sand.
Oh, the waves.
So yes, we do actually have artists as far as Los Angeles, and we have one a bit closer to home. So I think the time has come for us to introduce our first collaborative artist. So his name is Nirolis, and he is currently on the coast of Norway. Good evening, how are you?
Hello from Norway.
Welcome to Find Out Friday. You are joined by myself and Sean Corcoran. Sean, how are you?
How are we? Exciting. I was living in Limerick and working in a bar and also writing music at home. And we found a flat. It was like really cheap, but it was due for demolition. So, I mean, it's at the back of an old shop. So you literally walk in through the back and there'd be like it was so bad, there was like orange mushrooms growing on the carpet. And the sort of
orange mushrooms, Rebecca, orange mushrooms.
On the carpet.
Ireland's a bit damp, lads. Do you know? There'd be orange mushrooms in most houses.
As the track was coming in back and forth, mastered back and forth, it was just really, really immersive. And I finished up yesterday and I had to drive. I went on a drive and I couldn't get the track out of my head. Every single note and the layers and layers in it are just so immersive and beautiful. And the track is dedicated to and titled The Void Queen. Specially made for the project by, who's it made by?
It is made by my good friend Wob, and I am about to reveal my good friend Wob. Wob, how are you?
Hey friends. I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
We're going on a trip, lads. And this
With
is
orange mushrooms.
yeah,
Orange mushrooms.
See, it all ties together. So yeah, being able to use Hoisin and putting it into a track and calling it Hoisin Island, and all of us being able to collaborate together to make this piece come to life is just, it's such a huge, massive privilege, guys. And I cannot wait for the entire world to see what we've made and to launch the first one. It's just uber exciting.
My mind is in that state all the time, so just closed my eyes and then I started kind of picturing the landscape and the soundscape. I use the soundscape to describe it in a way. So I started working with the movement, the way you were moving the sand with your rake, the way waves are kind of moving back and forth on the shore. So I started kind of working with sounds describing that. Then I introduced a very strong, powerful vocal line.
Yeah, and as you say, electronic music, it hasn't been my go-to genre, shall we say, down through my musical life. But I suppose for me, it's the challenge of connecting. I love a challenge. And for me, the time lapses that I'm creating from my giraffe, my giant tripod, they're very, very fast and almost like an animation. It's this image miraculously appears in front of your eyes. So I'm trying to see, is it possible to somehow connect the beat and the rhythm of the music with the visual? So that's, for me, is the personal challenge.
And my God, yeah, I just said, oh, I'd love to be part of this. And yeah, the song itself was just I've been experimenting so much with old tape recorders recently, and I got an old clarinet off of Sheena Crowley from Crowley's. So she very generously gave me that clarinet, and I was figuring out how to play it. And in addition to that, I was kind of messing around with the violin. So just between the two of them, I was just kind of making these cassette tape loops, and then just using loops, then brought it into the software, then just messed around with the pitch. So yeah, it's just lots of kind of analog and digital intermingling, that kind of thing.
And I was on my motorcycle coming in from Hoth to Dublin, and the sun was going down, and the city was like there in the distance, and you could see like the flashing lights and Coolbeg Tower, and I could smell the sea just on that kind of like just on the sea road there, and it was just one of those moments of like freedom and serenity that you get, and you like when you get a moment like that, you just kind of take it and you kind of like put it in your brain, and you're like, I'm gonna save this for later. And you can revisit that. So it was just like a really nice little thing that happened. And I just decided that, when things like this happen, you gotta commit them to memory, and something you can come back to when you're looking for an uplifting moment or an uplifting feeling. So then when I got home, I pretty much started writing it straight away, because I had this like vision of the city in the distance. And then with the motorbike as well, I had like some like yellow lenses on, so everything looked really cool and retro.
How are you, sweetheart? So how is everything going on in Belfast?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm having a happy wee birthday so far, so.
Welcome, Joe Carter.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How is LA?
I mean, that intro is so glowing that I feel pressure to like deliver something.
Yeah, and you're wearing the coolest shirt I think I've ever seen in my whole entire life, okay? It's got sloths, alpacas, burritos, headphones, like...
What more could you ask for?
Your work, Joe, for me, kind of has this kind of like there's definitely this kind of black and white graphic. Visually, I get this kind of like, clarity in the grayscale of the clarity of the black and white. So I wanted something that was very... punchy in that regard to represent the song. So we had a little sneak preview of it just before we came onto this chat. So I'm quite happy with it actually.
I think it's amazing. I think it looks really cool. It has like intuitive flow to it, which the song also does. And I mean, it really seems to marry well. It's awesome what you did.
Recently I got this new software which like is like tons of new synth sounds that I didn't have before, and I was just looking at some of your older videos of like the time-lapse stuff, and I was looking at it and I was like, how would I want, like what would I want this to sound like? And I found like a synth that was like real like spacey and dreamy.
So it was when Sean got in touch with me originally, I thought, yeah, they must have gone off my rocker completely. And he told me what it was all about. And even worse again, when he sent me the script that he wanted me to read, I suddenly became a scientist overnight. Now I know all about supersonic sound.
Our next artist, collaborator, contributor for the Supersonic sound, drum roll please, is none other than Moby.
Yeah, I think Sinead only got informed about it as we were walking down the beach and we spotted Sean on the sand, and I had to tell her then that she wasn't here to get a tan, that she was here to do a lot more than that. So hope you enjoyed it, Sinead.
Loved every minute of it and delighted it's part of something bigger.
It's funny that these two tie together quite well. So Moby, Mark Lanigan, Joe, Mark Lanigan, us, Moby.
Can I just say that as the math teacher among the group, I really do feel like an imposter.
This is Nylon Primate. Hello, good sir. How are we?
Hello. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm rolling with it. It was like you on the beach, Sean. Let's just go with it. Do what you feel like. Yeah, go with it.
It's all done. It's all done. Everything's done except one tiny little thing.
Well, see, this is my difficult second album.
Drums and bass are my favorite things in the world. And then when you get the drums right and you get the bass right, in my opinion, you can throw anything you want on it. As long as they're right, you can use any other sound you want. You can sprinkle it with whatever you want.
It's a huge privilege to be involved with all of you guys as well. Thank you for the opportunity, and it was great fun.
I'll be doing more in here over the winter, but normally I'm outside. In the woods, in the hedgerow, on the hill, on the beach, which is where I normally write my music and do it all at the moment these days.
Mark and Rachel have collaborated with myself and Joe simultaneously across the Irish Sea and across the Celtic Sea there in Wales, and we being in Ireland, we've collaborated on a couple of projects at this stage. Sadly never got to meet Mark, but looking forward to meeting Rachel and her crew either in Wales or Ireland. Like as a kid, I used to love hiding in hedgerows, pretending to be waiting for the bus to come for school. But you know, it's great in a hedgerow because you can kind of like pretend that the bus never came if you stay in the hedgerow.
And then one morning, I woke up at about, just as the sun was starting to rise. And the sun rises in my house, it rises in my studio window. And I keep the doors open so that light shines all through the house upstairs. And I woke up and I got out of bed, as one does, and the sun was literally just coming up. And that piece of music suddenly came to me.
The biggest shock of all was when Rebecca told me that my track had to be less than 3 minutes. And I don't know if I have ever written a track less than 3 minutes.
No, I'm seriously, I'm really thrilled with this. This is super work by everyone.
Both of them were finished with members of the public walking up to me and talking about squirrels, which is how that happened. And they do while I'm setting up. They're all running around above my head, and so there's constantly bits of twig and stuff falling on me and the equipment.
It's a beautiful dance, and that we can all join together and create something like this. Just thank you all. And I'm sure from Mark he'll be ecstatic.
The opening scene is like bubbles. And I had just gone for a swim because the tide was in, so I had to swim around the headland to get onto the beach. But we had to climb down a cliff, Joe and I, and the tide was still locking us in, so I swam around the headland. With Bamba, like we absolutely love Bamba. Like, you know, you're part of like 12 amazing acts that are in this. Well, 11 altogether because you're in it twice. Because we just really love what you've been doing.
I don't know. Maybe I could wear well, I won't say I wear a suit, but but I haven't. The way I'm thinking is this: I have a kind of an old suit, sort of the way a professor would probably dress or something, and I don't mind getting them wet. Let me put it to you that way. So some sort of really kind of like Pink Floyd-esque type idea. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe giving the lecture from the ocean.
I like it. I like it.
Waist deep in jellyfish or something, you know.
It's really cool to have like visuals to your song that are not only amazing, but you know, part of a bigger project that's really cool as well.
Have the world tour.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, we're already planning a massive party in Monaghan once. Is it Monaghan we picked?
No, it's Mullingar.
Oh, sorry, Mullingar.
Doesn't get more exotic than that, does it?
Yeah. So even though we're sad to kind of say, oh, track 12, you know, what we're going to do next month? Well, next month we're going to be busy because the winter solstice, 21st of December, it won't be long, and that'll come around. So as Rebecca is saying, like, we're super excited. An 8-meter stage, a 6-meter screen behind the artists, each of the collaborators, and I would just like to give a shout out, actually, if it's okay, to the other collaborators at this point, because on my other screen here, we started back in May with Hoisin Island by Nerullis from Norway. Then we went with the Vikings 3 with Wob. Then we went with Stephen Brennan, gave us the Sunset Shore. And then Morpheme's Rabbit with Andy Killian, amazing track. Then we went to Belfast, Laps with The Things These Shores Have Seen. And then we went to Los Angeles with Skeleton Joe, The Jewel in the Crown. And then we went to Supersonic Sand, the track created by Bamba with Roddy Clear and Charlie's Angels. That was back then. And we followed that by none other than the king, the godfather of electronic music himself, Moby, with a track called Strata. And difficult to follow, but Nylon Primate managed to follow that incredible track by Mook with the Bubble Machine. And then we had Flowers for Mark, which was created by me and Joe and Pixie down on Ladies Beach in County Kerry with Mixile, amazing track. And then we followed that with our last release, which was Bubbles in Paradise, and that was created back in Kerry again. Most of them are in Kilmurran Cove, but this one was back in Kerry. The last one was in Kerry, and it was Bubbles in Paradise, created by Keith Sutton, who goes under the name of Drone in the Woods. An incredible track. So what we've done with track number 12, with Bamba, bringing Bamba back, it's a 5-minute release. So it's the longest track in the whole thing. So visually, we've kind of created a mashup. It's all in massive 4K. It's going to be on a 6-meter screen at Kilmurran, the full set of 12 plus live performances, not just the videos. I mean, they're only going to be minutes in between things, but these artists are going to be coming to a live stage in Kilmurran. Amazing sound and light by Dirk Bowman from DBL, Light and Sound from Dungarvan. Incredible to work with Dirk and Esther. Thanks to Conor Nolan in the arts office in Waterford for making it possible. Then we've got Rocket Pyrotechnics with a 10-minute show at the finale of the presentation at 9 p.m. So it starts at 5 and finishes at 9 p.m. So it's not an all-night rave or anything like that. Don't you worry. It'll all be, it's experimental electronic music collaboration with sand art. And what better way to finish it than with fireworks? What can we say?
You're not going to be able to really thank yourselves, so I guess I'm going to have to do that now. But on behalf of all the other artists as well, like, the work you guys have put in is honestly insane. Like, you put in so much time to make this beautiful project, and it's unbelievable. So thanks, Rebecca, and thank you, Sean, for the video editing, for all the work you did, Rebecca, all the liaising, all the pushing, the promoting, the organising, everything you guys did has made this possible. Thank you so much. It's incredible.
You're qualified, fully qualified.
A lot with all you guys as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hope you enjoyed it today.
Give me the world.